Hey everyone, it's Tim from Tim Gagnon Studio, and today I'm painting a very large tree painting in acrylic. I'm going to do one of my signature red trees. Now normally what I would do is just grab a tube of cadmium red medium, mix up a couple different shades of red, and then layer over my foliage over and over and over until I got to the point where I was just using pure cadmium red medium. And the reason why I would use cadmium red medium is because the vibrancy and the saturation is really hard to match with any other red. Well, today what we're going to do is something a little bit different. We're going to do a little bit of a challenge. Liquitex has sent me two different tubes of red paint. We have one that is labeled A, and we have one that is labeled B. Now, one of these tubes of paint is cadmium red medium, and the other is their brand new cadmium-free red. Now, why would you want cadmium-free red? Well, cadmium paints are made with the metal cadmium, which in some places feel like it's a little bit toxic. So Liquitex has come up with a great idea to create an alternative to cadmium red and cadmium yellow as well. So what we're going to do today, a little bit of a challenge like I was saying, is we're going to paint half the tree in the A tube and half the tree in the B tube. We're going to see if we can see the difference. I have yet to find a red that matches cadmium red medium, so we'll see. I'm not sure which one is which, so I'm just as blind as you are going into this. And at the end of the video, what we'll do is we'll reveal which one is which. So let's zoom in and check out the paint, see what it looks like, see what it feels like, and we'll do some painting up here and see if we can tell the difference. Okay, so we've got our A color here and our B color here. I've got some burnt umber here in the middle that I'm going to use to tone down my first layers, and then we'll eventually get to the pure color. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the A. We'll do the top portion of the tree with the A and the bottom portion with the B, and we'll compare and we'll see how they look. So let's start with the A. The A here, nice and smooth paint. Very nice flow to it. So I'm just going to tone this first color down. Mixes nicely with my burnt umber. Okay, we'll start layering on some paint and go from there. Okay, so I'll start it down here. And we'll come down to about this point here with the A paint. Just going with our first layer, and then we'll go brighter and brighter. So I'm going to go fill in this area here with my first few darker layers, and then we'll go lighter and lighter. So I'll just skip ahead to the point where we add in some lighter color. Okay, we finished up the first layer on the top part of the tree, so let's do the first layer on the bottom. We're going to switch to the B paint. Still not sure if this is cadmium red medium or cadmium free, so let's find out here. We're going to mix it together with some burnt umber. It's still nice and smooth, mixes very well. I like the consistency, just like the A paint, so very, very similar. We'll load up the brush here and we'll add in that first layer of foliage on the bottom of the tree and see how that looks. So this is going on nice and smooth, just like the top portion. They're making it really difficult for us here to figure out which is which. So I'm just going to keep painting here, paint in the bottom half of the tree. And what we'll do is just kind of skip ahead and I'll show you the next few layers. So I'm just going to fill in on this first layer, then we're just going to keep going brighter and brighter and try to figure out which one of these paints is the cadmium-free paint. Alright, so we've got the bottom half now filled up with our B color. So let's go back to our A color and work up on this top half again and start getting it brighter and brighter. Okay, I'm going to go back into this A color again. You can see it's nice and bright now. Just a little bit of burnt umber in there. Eventually we'll go to pure A. Okay. Still not even as bright as we can go though. All right, so I'm going to continue adding in. I'll spare you the time-consuming process this is, but I'm going to keep blending in, layering in this brighter color across the canvas here on this top half, and then we'll move down to the bottom half with our B paint. Okay, now we're starting our highlights down here with our B mixture. Still have it mixed in with some of my burnt umber, so it's not pure red yet, not nearly pure red. We'll still do another layer or two. So this bottom half is the B paint. I'm going to highlight this bottom half down here, and then we'll go another round, and I'll jump ahead to the final layer so we can see how bright and how similar the A and the B paint are. So what I'm going to do is highlight the rest of the tree a couple more layers. Let's jump ahead to the pure red and see where it goes. Okay, I'm going to add just a little bit more paint here, just so I can make sure I get it nice and pure, because we're ready to move on to our pure red to see how it compares. All right, so let's start up at the top part of the tree. I'm going to go with just pure red, the A version. Okay, and you can see going pure red, nice smooth paint here, and we'll start loading it on nice and thick. Okay, on this stage of my red trees, what I like to do is really put the paint on nice and thick to get a little bit of texture. So I want to see how each one of these paints perform with adding in some of this really bright, thicker paint. Okay, so I'm going to move along across the tree, highlighting this really bright red, and then we'll move down to the bottom half of the tree with our B paint. Okay, I'm going to put a final layer of bright red on the bottom half of my tree, and I'm going to use the B paint now, just pure B, which is either cadmium or cadmium-free. We're still not sure. We will find out here in just a moment. But what we'll do here is add another final layer, pure red, onto the bottom half of my tree, and then we'll take a look at the overall painting. Okay, and just like up above here, I want to start layering it on nice and thick. Just get a little bit of texture in there and really indicate some really bright red foliage. So up here we use the A paint. Down below this point here, we're using the B. So one is cadmium red and one is cadmium free, and we have to try to figure out which is which. Still undecided at this point. I'm going to fill in the rest of the bottom half of this tree, and then we'll catch up with each other here and try to determine which red is cadmium free and which red is the cadmium red medium. Okay, so I finished the top portion of my painting up here. I put a whole bunch of red foliage using two different types of red. We used Liquitex A and Liquitex B. One of them is Liquitex's new cadmium-free red, and the other is just regular cadmium red medium. For me, I can't tell the difference. The consistency of the paint when you mix it is the same. It mixes with other colors really easily. The vibrancy, the saturation is really similar. So for me, it's really hard to tell. Cadmium red medium is a really hard color to match. So I'm really impressed with how I can't really tell the difference at all. So I'm about to reveal which one is which, but before I do that, comment down below with your choice. So do you think A is cadmium-free red, or is it B that's cadmium-free red? Comment down below, and in a few moments I'm going to reveal the answer. Okay, I've given you a few minutes here to comment down below and guess which tube of paint is the cadmium-free red. And I've got the answers here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to guess, we'll just guess A because I really don't know. It's unimaginable how close these paints are. I've never seen a red that's so close to cadmium red medium. So I'm just going to guess A. Now let's see what we got here. Actually, A is the cadmium-free red. So everything up top here, we painted in with the cadmium-free red. And you can't even tell the difference. And just to make sure they didn't trick us here, let's check out B. That's right, B is cadmium red medium. So the bottom portion of this tree was painted in cadmium red medium. So for me, if I was worried about the toxicity of cadmium red paint and I wanted to try a cadmium-free version, I would definitely go with the Liquitex color because you cannot tell the difference. They also have cadmium yellow paint as well, which I used down here in the grass. I actually used both of them, but you really can't, again, you can't tell the difference. I used the cadmium-free over here on the right and the cadmium yellow medium on the left. And you can't tell a difference at all. They are mixtures, but really, if you want a cadmium-free paint, you should check out Liquitex's color. So let's have a conversation about the cadmium-free paints. Is that something you're looking for? How did you do? Could you tell the difference between the red, the top part, and the bottom part? If so, let's hear what you have to say down below. If you have more questions, you can visit Liquitex's website at www.liquitex.com. And if you're interested in online painting lessons, you can check out my website at www.timgagnon.com. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon.